Hello friends. In the last lecture, we started with cash flow statements, right? I told you what is cash, what is flow, and what is statements. Cash is one of the most important aspects if we talk of economy, if we talk at the business level. It is very important to know what is our cash inflow and what is our cash outflow, right? What is a cash inflow? Any money that is coming into our pocket is known as the cash inflow, and any money going out of our pocket is cash outflow. Clear? So I told you we have the cash and cash equivalents. That is important. Cash and cash equivalents, right? Then I told you that cash flow statements are prepared covering three activities. What are the three activities? Operating, investing, and financing. Clear? So now, first we'll start with operating activities. Right? First we will learn how to prepare cash flow statement for operating activities. Right? For that, what is the first step? First we should know is what are operating activities. We know what is a cash flow statement. It is a statement recording the cash inflow and outflow, right? But we do not know what are the operating activities, right? So first of all, we should understand what are operating activities, right? I'll simply say activities directly relating to what are operating activities? Operating activities are the activities directly relating to the operations of a business. Activities directly relating to the operations of a business that lead to cash inflow or outflow. Right? Clear? No, not clear. Right? So let's make it clear. We say operating activities are the activities directly relating to the operations of a business that lead to cash inflow or outflow. Right? Can you give an example of this? Can you think of an example? What are the activities that are relating to operations of a business and the activities lead to either cash inflow or cash outflow? Right? Can you think of some examples? Example. What can be the example? Number one is cash sale, isn't it? Sale is the normal operation of a business, and when it is done in cash, what is sale? Sale is an activity. It is directly related to the operations of a business, right, sir? Sale is what we do in the regular course of the business, right? Cash sale is the cash inflow. The cash will come into your pocket. If you will sell your product for the cash, you receive cash and put cash in your pocket. Second is cash purchase. Right, sir? We are purchasing the raw material for producing the finished goods. Right? This purchase of raw material is an activity that is directly related to the operations of the business. Right, sir? This is directly related to the operations because purchase of raw material is important. Then, if you are purchasing this raw material for cash, this will lead to cash outflow. Money will flow out of your pocket. This is cash inflow. This is cash outflow. Isn't it? Clear? Cash sale, cash purchase. Clear, friends? So, what are the operating activities? The activities which are directly relating to the operations of a business that lead to cash inflow or outflow. These are called operating activities. In simple terms, I can say activities which occur in the routine operations of a business. Right? Activities which occur in the routine operations of a business are the operating activities. Routine operations which are related to the business, right? Activities directly relating to the routine operations of a business that lead to cash inflow or cash outflow are known as operating activities. Right? One more thing is written for operating activities. They say activities which are not investing or financing activities. They say if an activity is neither an investing activity nor a financing activity, then that activity will fall in operating activities. This doesn't hold, a real relevance. You should be clear about what is an operating activity, right? I'm just telling you in exams, if you are confused, if you are confident that this activity is neither an investing activity nor a financing activity, then that means that is an operating activity, right? But it's better you should be clear about which activity is an operating activity and which activity is not an operating activity, right? Remember this second point. Remember this point, okay? If you remember this point, then to a great extent you will be able to understand, you will be able to find out in the exam that which is an operating activity and which is not an operating activity. Which activity is to be taken while calculating the cash flow under the operating activities and which activity is not to be taken. Clear? Activities which occur in the routine operations of a business, right? Those activities are known as operating activities. Clear? Now, one important point here is, for this, you must understand the nature of business. For this purpose, understanding the nature of business, is very important. Now, what does this mean? Let's take an example. I'll take two entities. One is bank and one is any business house. Clear? Now, bank has given a loan, right? Bank has given a loan to a person, and on that loan, bank will receive interest, isn't it? Simple logic. Bank is giving a loan to a person and bank is receiving the interest on that. Now, tell me, giving a loan is a routine work for bank, isn't it? Giving loan to the people is a routine work for bank, right? And receiving interest is routine for them. If they are advancing the loans in routine, then they will be receiving interest, isn't it? Now, which activity is for the bank? If they are doing it in the routine, right? Advancing loans is a routine activity for bank, and receiving interest on that loan is a routine income for bank, routine cash flow, right? So which activity is this? This is operating activity for bank. What is operating activity? Receiving interest, cash inflow. Okay, operating activity of bank. Now if we talk of business house, I say he invested money in market. One business person, he had some surplus money, so he decided to invest that money in the market. He invested money in the market. Now, what will happen if he has invested? Why he has invested money in the market? Why this business person has invested the money in the market? Will he get anything in return? Will he get anything in return? Yes, sir, he will get interest on investments, isn't it? If you go to the bank, you do an FD, you will get interest on that. Right or wrong? If you go to the bank, you have some surplus money, you go to a bank and you ask that bank person that I want to do an FD for rupees 1 lakh, 2 lakh. Right? What is that? It is your investment. You are setting aside your money. Why you are setting aside? Because you will get higher rate of interest on FD than the savings account. Clear? So what this person is getting, if he has invested some money in the market, right, in the hope of earning interest on those investments. What is the motive of investing money in the market? He wants to earn interest on those investments, because otherwise his money will be lying idle in the bank, at which he will be earning a much lesser rate of interest. Clear? So this person received interest on investments. So can you tell me that is the interest earning for this person a regular activity? Is it related to his business? Is it related to the operations of business of a person? That person, he earned the money from the business, he had some idle money lying in the bank, he decided to invest that money in the market in the hope of receiving interest, in the hope of earning interest on those investment. Was that anyhow related to the operations of the business? Is it going to affect the operations of the business, that whether he is investing or not? Is it going to? No, sir. It is not going to affect the operations of the business, that whether he is investing that money in the market and earning interest or not. So this is, for this business house, This is not an operating activity, right? Rather, this will fall in investing activity. That is earning on an investment. So this is an investing activity. This we will do later on. Right now, I'm telling you that this is not an operating activity. Can you find the similarity in both the cases? In case of bank also, the bank is receiving the interest, and in case of this business house also, it is receiving the interest. What is the activity? Interest receiving. But for one person, for bank, it is an operating activity, but for the business house, receiving interest is not an operating activity. So that's why I say, for the purpose of identifying which activity is operating and which is not, you must understand the nature of business. Clear, friends? This is what I meant by this point, that for the purpose, understanding the nature of business is very, very, very important. If nothing is given, we will assume that it is a business house and not a bank, right? If we are not given anything in the question, it is assumed that it is a business house, then receiving interest is not an operating activity. Clear? Right, friends? So, understanding the nature of business is important to identify that which transaction will fall in operating activities and which transaction will not fall in operating activity while calculating the cash flow statement. Right? We have to identify what is the cash inflow and cash outflow out of the operating activities, out of the activities which are directly related to the operations of the business. Clear? Okay. So let's do a small practical problem identifying which activity is an operating activity and which is not an operating activity. Says identify which of the following transactions are classified or shown as operating activity. Right? Cash received against sale of goods. What is an activity here? Sale of goods. We all can see that. What is an activity here? Sale of goods. Is this activity a routine activity for the business? Yes, sir. Sale of goods is a routine activity. We are producing goods for sale only, isn't it? So sale of goods is a routine activity. So we can say cash received against sale of goods is an operating activity. Right? Second, cash paid for purchases of good. Friends, if we will not purchase the raw material, then how we are going to produce the finished product? So purchase of goods is also a routine activity for the business, right? It is a routine activity for the business. So the cash paid for purchases of goods will also fall under operating activity. Third, payment of salaries and wages. Is it a routine activity for the business or not? Right? If you are working in a business house, what you are working for? For salary? Or you will be working free of cost? You will say, I will work for you, don't pay me any salary or wages. Definitely not, sir. You will want some remuneration for the work you are providing. So payment of salaries and wages, every month the business house has to pay the salary and wages to its workers. Otherwise the workers will be dissatisfied and will not work. Clear? So payment of salaries and wages is also a routine activity for the business. They have to pay this every month. So this will also fall in operating activity. Next, payment of interest on loan. Is taking loan a routine activity for the business? Can you say taking a loan a routine activity for the business? Definitely not. Some business do not take loan at all. Some take, right? So taking loan is not a routine activity for the business, and payment of interest on loan cannot fall in operating activity, because taking loan itself is not an operating activity, right? So remember that one thing: activity which is a routine activity which is relating to the routine operations of the business, that is an operating activity. Very simple. Repayment of loan, is this a routine activity? No sir. If you have not taken a loan, so repayment of loan has no question. If your business has not taken a loan at all, so the repayment of loan does not stand a chance, right? So it is not a routine activity, so it will not fall in operating activity. Purchase of machinery against payment, is it a routine activity for the business? Purchase of machinery, they keep on purchasing the machinery after every few days, isn't it? No sir, the machinery is purchased once or twice in years. Once you set up the machinery, right, the cost of machinery is too high. You can't change machinery after every few days. You say, I will change the machinery now, I will change machinery after few days again. No, you can't change. So it is not a routine activity of the business, right? Dividend paid, is it a routine activity for the business? Absolutely no. When the dividend is paid, if you have profits, only then you can pay the dividends. Otherwise, you will not pay the dividends. Right? Simple. It is not a routine activity for the business. If you have profits, you can pay. If you don't have the profits, you cannot. Even if you have profits, you want money for the expansion, you can retain money and do not pay the dividend. So it is not a routine activity for the business. Clear? Next, sale of car in cash. Is sale of car a routine activity? See, here it is important to understand the nature. If the person is a car dealer, then sale of car in cash will be an operating activity for that person, right? If you go to a Maruti showroom, what is their main business? Selling cars, right? Then sale of car in cash will be an operating activity for a car dealer, but not for a business person, right? Next, commission received. This commission received can be an operating activity, can be a regular activity, right? We are working for some person and he is paying us commission. It is directly related to the operations of the business. Commission is on what? Commission is on operations only. How we earn the commission? If we are doing something related to our business only and the other person is paying the commission on that activity is directly related to the operations of the business. Therefore, commission received is an operating activity. Clear, friends? Now, cash received from trade receivables. What is trade receivables? The other terminology for trade receivable is sundry debtors. Simply cash received from debtors. This is a routine activity, right? You are selling the material to the people on credit. You show the debtors in your balance sheet, isn't it? When the cash is received from the debtors, you keep on asking the debtors to pay the money. It is a routine activity for the business, isn't it? So it will be an operating activity. Clear, friends? So I hope you are clear with what is an operating activity, which activities will fall in operating activities and which will not fall in operating activities. Just remember one simple thing: the activities which are directly related to the routine operations of the business that lead to cash inflow or cash outflow are the operating activities, right? And the activities which are not directly related to the routine operations of the business, right? Those are not operating activities. Those might be investing activities, those might be financing activities that we will discuss later on when we will discuss the investing and financing activities. Clear? So this was one simple question on this. I hope you are clear with this, that what is an operating activity? What are the operating activities? Just remember this one simple point for exam purpose, that activities which occur in the routine operations of the business, activities relating to the routine operations of the business that lead to cash inflow or outflow. This is very important. It should lead to, the activity should lead to the cash inflow and cash outflow. Only then it will be recorded. If there is neither a cash inflow nor a cash outflow, then what is the fun of including it in the cash flow statement? Because we are preparing cash flow statement to identify the cash inflow or the cash outflow, right? If an activity is not resulting in cash inflow or cash outflow, then there is no fun of including it in cash flow statements. Clear? Okay. Now, what we are going to do in the next lecture. In the next lecture, we are going to start with preparing cash flow statements from operating activities, right? In this, we have a few divisions. I will teach this topic in divisions. So in the next lecture, we'll start with the first element of this, that is calculation of net profit before tax and extraordinary items. Right? So this is what we are going to deal in the next lecture. The cash flow statement from operating activities, we will divide it into few parts, right? The first part is calculation of the net profit before taxes and extraordinary items. How to do this, how to calculate this net profit before tax and extraordinary items, we'll do in the next lecture, right? So that's all for this lecture, friends. Thank you so much.